So I just watched a video on YouTube from NerdSync called Marvel Theory: How the MCU Could Fail, and it's talking about the parallels between the MCU and the Ultimates line of Marvel comics, and it it makes a couple of good points about how continuity tends to be a problem when you have massive universes, and I mean, we have the whole concept of especially today we have the concept of Wikipedia and the internet to sort of condense everything down into a good nugget that comprises the core parts of these stories that they're telling with the movies in the MCU. And I mean, another thing we have to really take into account with the MCU is that Marvel is playing with the characters they still have the rights to, because, as he said, in the '90s, Marvel was going bankrupt. They filed for bankruptcy, and in order to stay afloat, they sold the rights to film rights for their characters to, like, well, Spider-Man went to Sony. They sold Spider-Man and Spider-Man villains to Sony. Um, the Fantastic Four they sold to Fox. The X-Men they sold to Fox, and because of that, we've gotten some very very bad X-Men movies. I'm upfront not a fan of any of the X-Men movies. Although then again, I haven't seen any of them after X3. Oh no, that's not true. The Wolverine Origins. Like I said, no good X-Men movies. Um, haven't seen anything after that, but not important. Um, but I mean, X-Men, one of the biggest lines in comics. Fantastic Four, one of the most well-known names in comics. Uh, Spider-Man, holy crap! Spider-Man, my opinion, hands down, for Marvel, Spider-Man, number one superhero, number one hero. Batman, DC, number one hero. And do you know why? I'll tell you why. And this is my opinion. They are the best superheroes in those lines because of their rogues gallery, because of their villains. I mean, Spider-Man has uh, Electro, he has Kingpin, he has Rhino, he has the Green Goblin, he has Hobgoblin, he has Jigsaw. He fights almost literally everyone at one point or another in his career. Hell, and when you bring in Spider-Verse, he even has to fight himself. He has to fight He has to fight villains who've taken over his body. He has to fight a Green Goblin who's become Spider-Man. He has to team up with Miles Morales. He has to team up with Spider-Gwen. He has to team up with Silk. Spider-Man has fought the Punisher in the comics. I mean, he has the best rogues gallery. The Fantastic Four has some great stories. The X-Men has great memorable stories. But Spider-Man can and will fight everybody, and does. Venom, Carnage, teamed up with Venom to fight Carnage because he had to sit back and say, I can't do this on my own. Batman, you go to DC, you have Batman. He has the best rogues gallery. Joker, right there, just the Joker. That just sums it up. But I mean, on top of that, he has Clayface, he has Penguin, he has Zaze, he has Ra's al Ghul, he has the League of Assassins, he has heroes who think that he's going too far and he needs to be stopped or slowed down. He fought Superman and won. I mean, it's just the strength of a superhero and his line is ultimately determined by his villains, his memorable villains. And MCU is doing what they can with what they still have. I mean, that's why. But let's face it, the Avengers were created to try and gain some popularity for less popular comic lines. Iron Man, Thor, the Hulk, not necessarily the Hulk, but Captain America. Captain America wasn't a popular story. Of course, now he's a super mega hunk that every girl fangirls over. Which is why I, even though I'm incredibly overweight, want to make a Captain America cosplay at some point. But that's beside the point. But will the MCU fail? It's entirely possible. But just because they don't have the rights to the most incredible villains that the Marvel Universe has. I mean, Thanos, he does have that fantastic Infinity War storyline, which they're changing for the cinematic universe because we don't have the continuity of death as an actual character, as someone that can be courted and won over, and if you're Deadpool, slept with. But no, and in my opinion, that's the only reason that Marvel could fail is because they can't bring in their greatest villains. I mean, me and my friends have talked about this numerous times, and you know, we're just sitting there. It would be great if Fox would get off their asses and let Marvel get the Fantastic Four back, and not even for the Fantastic Four, but for one particular reason. That would be an end credit sequence at the end of Part 2 of the Infinity Wars, whatever they call it. Part 2 would probably actually be Infinity War, because Part 1 is just the Thanos standalone movie, which basically describes why he's doing what he's doing, as we've come to find out on leaks and releases through the internet. But no, it would be great after everyone is done fighting, after everything is done, and the Avengers are standing tall and proud. You just have the end sequence where you just see a man. You can't see his face. You just see Kate Billow behind him, and he walks into his throne room. You find out he's in his throne room. He walks over to the throne, picks something up on a dais next to little table thing next to his throne, and he puts it on, and then as he's sitting there, he's just you can feel his anger smoldering, saying, "So the Avengers defeated a god. Now we'll see how they fare against Doom." And he just turned around and you see the mask of Dr. Doom. My friends argue about this. I say it'd be better to see him with the mask on. They say it'd be great to just have the sequence where he reaches for that mask, and you just see the mask. You don't see his face or detailing of costuming or anything. And then you would have Phase 4 be because we would probably want to be wrapping up the first cinematic universe, just so that it doesn't fatigue and peter out and people lose their interest in it, where you can reboot and do however you want to for the next phase, but just have the fourth one, Battle World. But as far as the point of could the MCU fail? Yeah, I'll agree. It's possible. It's possible that the superhero bubble will burst, and it's going to be if Marvel starts putting out bad movies. That's what it's going to come down to. But I don't think they will. Marvel, I think they're doing it right. They get writers who want to do these movies. They get directors who want to do these movies. They get producers who want to do these movies. They get the actors who want to do these movies, so long as they get the right amount of money, or because they are genuinely interested in doing the characters, which is even better because then they'll do a better job. But so long as the people involved in these projects want to be doing these projects, I don't think that we're going to end up with the same situation that we have with the DC cinematic universe, where they managed to cut everything that they have filmed into one awesome trailer, and then the movie just bombs and sucks because they don't know what they're doing. I'll make a video at some point on my opinions on the DC universe and why Green Lantern was okay. I think Green Lantern was an okay movie. There were some things that were just wrong with it, but okay, it sucked. Green Lantern sucked. I'm sorry. Ryan Reynolds, I love you. You were the right person to play Hal Jordan. It was just the rest of the movie. You couldn't hold it up on your incredible shoulders. I think I'm rambling on about Ryan Reynolds now. But that's okay. He's in Marvel now, where he belongs as Deadpool, as a foul-mouthed badass. But yeah, I saw this. I wanted to put my 2 cents into it about how yeah, it could fail. I don't think it will. But that's just because I think that the people are doing the projects are devoted to the projects and want to do the projects. So I look forward to seeing the rest of Phase 3 and what we see going into Phase 4. So that said, this was Line Tracks. I hope everyone has a fantastic. As I film this, it's not quite midnight yet, but I hope everyone has a fantastic night. And we'll see you later. Bye now.